Well, greetings, Cap fans, and welcome to episode 233 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. My name is Rick Verbanis, and I'm your host, and I've got a co-host. You know who he is. He's the best one out there. His name's Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob, I'm loyal to nothing, General, except the dream.
Wow. Wow. An actual Cap quote this time around, Rick.
It
What
is a Cap
gives?
quote.
What gives?
Well, Bob, do you know where that Cap quote is from?
Oh, isn't that from a Daredevil issue?
It is, Bob.
Yeah. I can't
And
remember which issue.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was episode or issue 232, but
Yeah.
that was the famous Born Again storyline
Uh,
written by Frank Miller with art by David Mazzucchelli, where at the end, Cap is going up against Nuke.
Oh, right.
And he goes into the general's office, who, by the way, the general works for the Kingpin. And he goes into the general's office to ask about Nuke, and the general's like, well, I can't tell you about that, but you know the department holds you in the highest regard. We've always valued your commitment and your loyalty. And that's when he grabs the flag that's in there and he goes, I'm loyal to nothing, General, except the dream.
Nice. Yeah. It's a
And
classic Cap quote.
why am I greeting you with a quote from Daredevil Born Again?
Well, could it be because we are covering another Daredevil issue with Cap featured in it?
It could be. It could be. That'd be a good guess. But actually, it's in honor of the Daredevil Born Again series on Disney
Ooh,
Plus right now.
okay.
That's been going on for a couple weeks. If you're listening to this when this episode comes out, which is March 26th, it's been out for about 3 weeks now. So I think there's 4 episodes. I haven't seen any of them myself personally, but I can't wait. Have you watched any of the Daredevil Netflix series?
I have not, Rick.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Bob, that's a major miss. I'm going to tell you right now. There were six different Netflix series.
Uh-huh.
There's the first one to come out was Daredevil season one,
Right.
and then there was a Jessica Jones, there was
Right.
a Luke Cage, there was an Iron Fist, then there was a Defenders, which brought all of those characters together. Then there
Hmm.
was Punisher,
Yeah.
and which was a spinoff of the Daredevil series. Uh, Most of them were pretty good.
Yeah.
Daredevil was excellent,
Huh.
absolutely excellent. You're doing yourself a disservice by not watching that.
Okay.
In fact, my wife and I loved it so much that we're rewatching the 3 seasons to just prime us for this new
All
season,
right.
which is
Yeah.
7 years later,
Yeah.
and we're halfway through season two, and we're in a few days getting on a plane to go on our trip, and so we're planning on binge watching because it's a very long plane ride. We're
Yeah.
planning on binge watching the rest of that so that when we come back,
Ooh.
we can start watching
Do you have them all
Born
like
Again.
downloaded on your device?
No, we're gonna have Wi-Fi.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we did get my wife's bringing her laptop, and she did get one of these little doohickeys that we can plug our both our
Yeah.
earbuds into.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so that we could both listen at the same time.
Nice.
Uh, I originally thought we were just gonna, share. Like I'd have one,
Oh, right.
and then
Right.
she'd have one in her ear, and she was
Yeah.
like, "No, we're not Lady and the Tramping it. We're we are we're getting this doohickey so that we can, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
You should check it out though. It's a great
All right,
series.
maybe I will. Maybe I will. Yeah.
Don't watch the new one until you
No,
watch the other 3 seasons. It
yeah.
really will make a difference.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll take you up on that. My son and I were. I'm down to the last episode of Ted Lasso, so I need something else, And,
Oh, it's violent.
yeah.
I mean, your son's 15, but
Yeah,
just so you know, it's
yeah.
it's nothing like a Ted Lasso. It's a pretty
Yeah.
dark,
Well, no, yeah,
violent show. But the acting is great, the writing is great, the tension is great. Oh my God. I can't remember the actor who plays Kingpin.
yeah. Ooh, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
commands a scene.
he really does. He always has.
Yeah,
Ever since Full Metal Jacket. Do you remember that movie?
I do.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was Private Pile.
Yeah.
And he
Or
was
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Yeah, right. Yeah, the bug guy, right? Yeah, he was awesome in that.
Yeah.
So he's a talented. Oh, and of course CSI. Was it CSI, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, CSI. I think he was on that. Law and Order.
I don't know.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant on that. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was so excited for Daredevil that I was like, we got to do a Daredevil story, and let me tell you how I'm not going to say how dumb I was because that's overstating it, but I made a serious mistake that cost me about 2 hours.
Oh,
So the other night, my wife was out, and I had some free time, and I was like, "Oh, we need to figure out what we're going to record
uh-huh.
coming up." Oh, I want to do a Daredevil. So
Yeah,
I then went on to the Complete Marvel Reading Order website,
yeah.
where you can punch in a character, and then you can see every issue that they appeared in. So I was like, I'll start with Captain. What did I say? I'll start with Captain America appearing in, or Daredevil appearing in Captain America, right? So I
Mm,
went through um, all the Daredevil appearances
yeah,
over since 1964.
yeah,
That took a little bit of time.
yeah.
So I wrote them all down. Okay, you want to know what they are? Anybody curious out there? All the Daredevil appearances in Captain America? Because by
I didn't think there
golly,
were that many. Are there that many?
I put the work into this, Bob.
Wow.
There wasn't that many.
Okay.
So there is 234 to 236. That's
Uh-huh.
the one where Daredevil's flying the plane,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that's from 1979. So I thought maybe that one. Then he makes a brief appearance at 250. 374 to 376, we already covered. That was
Mm-hmm.
the Truth to Poison.
Yeah,
Makes a brief appearance in the 2002 issue 50, and then he makes a brief appearance. So he's only in two stories in Captain America, and they're both 3 issues.
yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. So then I was like, oh, well, Captain America's appeared in Daredevil, right? So there's Daredevil 155 to 157, which is these 3 issues. This was leading up to when Frank Miller took over with 158. So this was the Death Stalker stuff with, anyways, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I went through that and I was like, well, maybe, I don't know. That's a lot to cover in one episode.
Yeah,
All right. 164, 233, which is the Born Again.
yeah.
283, which we covered. That was the tie-in
All
to
right.
Streets of Poison.
Yeah,
Then 326 to 332, which is a too long of a story, but that's called Tree of Knowledge. Then we start getting into all these other volumes, and he only had a couple of appearances,
yeah.
like they threw Captain America in when they need a reaction,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah,
whatever. But I got excited. I got excited because I'm a big Mark Waid and Paulo Rivera fan,
yeah,
and so he did
yeah.
this volume, which came out in is this the 2011? I think it is. And anyway, it's Cap versus Daredevil.
Ooh.
But if you look, Daredevil has Cap's shield,
Yeah,
and Cap has
yeah. The baton.
Daredevil's
Yeah,
batons,
batons.
right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, and so it's a really cool story of the two, and it goes back and forth for like 10 pages, but then it's over, and
yeah.
then there's the rest of the issue. So I was like, God, we can't do that.
Mm, yeah.
Now you may be wondering, hey Rick,
Yeah,
what about the issue we're covering tonight?
yeah,
Which is Daredevil 43, which is
yeah.
Cap and right,
Right. Famous cover.
because I was like, but we already covered that
Yeah,
in an earlier episode, and I know you're looking at me like we did.
we did.
And you're probably going, Rick, I know I have a bad memory. Maybe we did. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Yeah. Who am I to judge?
No,
Right.
no, we didn't.
Yeah.
I got confused because um, back in August of 2021,
Yeah.
I got invited to come on to another
Oh, you
podcast.
did. Yes.
Our one of our moderators of the Facebook group, Daniel Tenney,
Yeah.
is a sometime contributor to a podcast called Josie's Bar,
Yeah.
which they go through and do Daredevil comics. And it was episode 43 because they do every issue. And
Mm.
so the issue number is the podcast number.
Yeah.
So it was podcast 43 if anybody wants to check that out. So that's where I was off.
Stuck on
I
that.
knew I
Yeah.
covered it on a
Yeah.
podcast, but it just wasn't our podcast.
Right. Yeah. And well, and on the Cap side, right, there was also that one shot, right?
Well, you're
Uh,
talking about the Dead on Arrival?
was that it?
There's a Daredevil Captain America one shot that came out.
Yeah. Wasn't
That
very
came
good.
out in 2009, and it's
Yeah.
a sequel to that 3-part story with Deathstalker.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
yeah. So I considered that. I
Okay.
considered that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
I wasted nearly 2 hours doing all that research when I could have just gone with the one that
Right.
I wanted to do all along.
Yeah. Wow. That was a lot of work.
It was. Also, for fans who like Daredevil, and they know like Chip Zdarsky is going to be writing the new Captain America series coming out in July of this year, 2025. Go back and read Chip Zdarsky's runs on Daredevil. Absolutely amazing, and it'll give you an idea, a taste of what you can expect with the characterization and the story elements in the new Cap series.
Interesting. I'll have to check those out. I've never been a big Daredevil reader. Believe it or not, when I first started collecting comics, those first few years, I had some friends who were really into Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started like picking up issues of Daredevil that I would read, but I wasn't, I didn't read every issue, right? I picked them up, but maybe I just never got around to them because I was too busy reading Cap stuff. And I still have all those, of course, from back in the day. But
yeah, what was the day? What year do you think it was?
Oh gosh, I think that was probably around 82, maybe 82.
Oh, you might have had some Frank Miller then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got some Frank Miller ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was big. I remember he was big at the time, and they were super into him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they might be worth some money.
Huh. Yeah. Still got them.
Well,
I don't
check
like
it
the
out.
other things. So.
Well, Bob, now I'm all excited about getting into this story because I can't wait to talk about Daredevil. What do you think?
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Man, you got me. You had me at hello.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This episode is brought to you by Prime Video. In the small town of Holland, Michigan, nothing is ever what it seems. Behind the tulip festivals and pretty houses lay dark secrets that threaten to tear a marriage apart. Nicole Kidman stars in this darkly twisted thriller about a wife and mother whose quest to uncover her husband's secrets may get her more than she bargained for. Holland, streaming on Prime Video March 27th.
So today's issue is Daredevil 43, which came out in 1968. It had a cover date of August, but a release date of June 11th. And a creative team. It was written by Stan Lee, penciled by Gene the Dean Colan, inked by Vince Colletta, letter Artie Simic, and it has a title, Bob. What's the title?
In Combat with Captain America.
Yes, and it is going to be in combat. In fact, that's what we're seeing on the cover, which, listen, if you are a Daredevil reader, or better yet, if you're a Captain America fan, you see this, him battling Daredevil, you're going to want to pick it up.
Yeah, I feel judged.
Why?
I don't have this one. I don't have this issue. Yeah. I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I should have it. It's such an iconic cover, and yet, yeah, here I am.
Yeah. I actually wasn't judging you before,
I know,
but now I am.
as are all our listeners, because this is a fan favorite cover.
Yeah. Why don't you take listeners through it?
Yeah, well, we've got a what appears to be a boxing ring. And what's the technical name for that? Is it just a boxing ring?
Yeah. Boxing ring. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't know where it's at, but we do know there's quite a crowd, because we can see all the crowd with reporters with their cameras. We can see television cameras all ringed around this boxing ring. And in the ring, we see Daredevil and Captain America. And it is this is, as I said, an iconic cover. It is a Kirby cover, and it just screams Kirby. But we see Daredevil facing toward us, and he's crouched, and it looks like he is going in with both hands extended, ready to wallop Cap. But Cap looks to be like he has just taken a right cross and perhaps missed the Daredevil, and he's got his shield in his left hand, sort of cocked behind him, and they're ready to come into contact right at this moment that we're seeing on this boxing ring.
Yeah. It definitely pulls you in 100%. And you're right. It is an iconic cover, so much so that Kieran Dwyer paid homage to it back when he did the cover to Captain America 341. That's the one where Iron Man and the Captain are fighting each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same exact pose, and it's Cap versus Iron Man instead of Cap versus Daredevil. And so yeah, I think we pointed that out when we were covering that story. But yeah, definitely a very, very cool cover, which, by the way, back in the day you could get for 12 cents.
Yeah, and I love, because on the cover the little subtitle text says guest starring you know who in the battle of the year. But what's really great about this is, if you're a Daredevil reader, you read that and say, "Oh, who's the guest?" Right? But of course, as a Cap guy, I look at this cover and I don't even see the title. Right? I just see Cap, and I go, "Oh, who's the you know who? It must be Daredevil." Right? It's all about perspective.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like I said before, Cap just gets pulled into so many things. Like when I went to that Marvel reading order, and I had to get through 50 some pages to see everywhere Daredevil appeared. For Captain America, I had to get through over 120 pages.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And 120 pages of a list of everything, right?
Yeah.
So Cap, even though they both, like, if you take into consideration, and I'm not talking the Golden Age, right? This is from when Cap came back in the Silver Age. From looking at 1964, Cap's been in over double the amount of comics that Daredevil has been.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, he's been in teams, right? I mean, he's been in the Avengers, Secret Avengers, and all these other Avengers, right? Daredevil ever been in a team?
He was on when Bendis was doing the New Avengers, which was kind of like the offshoot after Civil War.
Yeah.
Daredevil was apparently a member of that for a little bit, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
No, he's not that kind of guy. I mean, he's not powerful.
He's got a day job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, in fact, we'll learn a little bit more about one Mr. Matt Murdock as we open the page, and we see a giant splash here, and it is Daredevil in costume, but he's got his hood down, or mask down, so you can see Matt Murdock's face and his orange hair. See, he's a ginger.
Is he now?
He is.
All right.
And you see him wearing sunglasses. Now, Bob, most people know this, but why is Matt Murdock wearing sunglasses indoors?
Well, he's visually challenged in the traditional sense.
You can use the word blind, Bob. Yeah. It's more than a challenge.
Yes, he's blind. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, and we'll get into how he's blind and also get into how he can operate as Daredevil being blind later in this story. But he's jumping around, exercising on there's a trampoline and some uh, Olympic parallel bars and things like that. And he's what do you call that? A knee tuck that he's doing as he's in the air.
Yeah, I guess it's a knee tuck. I don't
All right,
know.
thank you.
Yeah.
And it says um, in the little blurb here, in his private hidden gym, a seething, sightless superhero gives vent to his feelings of savage rage and helpless frustration in the only way he can. But why this mood of bleak despair? Let's find out. It's wrong, all wrong, and there's nothing I could do about it. We turn the page, and there's two big panels of him doing acrobats. The only girl I've ever loved, the only girl who's ever meant anything to me, and now she's gone. I've lost her forever. And there's no way I can get Karen back. She knows I love her. She must know it. A girl can sense a feeling like that. But she thinks I won't admit it because of my blindness. And I dare not tell her the other reason. How can I jeopardize the life of the girl I love by letting her share the deadly secret of Daredevil? Only by giving up my crime-fighting career forever could I marry Karen without endangering her life. But I can't. I just can't do it. Sometimes I think I was born to be Daredevil, and Matt Murdock is the identity that's not for real. But what good is my mission? What good is anything without the girl I love? No matter how I knock myself out, I'll never forget her. Or the way she wept just a few short hours ago. And then we cut to a little flashback sequence, Bob. And who do we see here?
We see Matt Murdock in a suit this time, still sporting his sunglasses, and we see this young blonde woman with tears in her eyes and her hands over her mouth.
It's Sharon Carter.
That's what I was going to suggest.
It's not Sharon Carter. It's Karen Page. Now, Karen Page is the secretary of the law office of Nelson and Murdoch. Now, Nelson, who's also in this panel, is Foggy Nelson. That's his longtime friend and business partner, and the two of them have done this law firm. And then Karen Page works in there, but she and Matt are romantically involved. I have something to say to both of you. I've decided to leave. I can't work here any longer. But why, Karen? If it's a matter of more money. No. I'd work for nothing. If only. And we turn the page. It's because of me, my darling, isn't it? I don't want to tell you. I didn't want to say it. But how can I stay here so close to you and yet so far away? Foggy and Deborah have each other, but even though you call me darling, I can't bear to know that you'll never be mine. I've never wanted to hurt you. Oh, Matt, all I ever longed for was to love you, take care of you, but you let your blindness come between us. And now I know I've got to forget you. Karen, wait. No, Matt, I can't wait any longer. This is the best way for both of us. If only it could have a different ending. And she hugs him, and he hugs her back. I've got to help her forget me. Make it easier for her, no matter how it hurts. Women, you're all alike. You try to own a man. Well, nobody's owning Matt Murdock. If you're going, then go. And good riddance. And the door slams. I've done it. I've driven away the one I love most in all the world. And Foggy looks perplexed. Why'd you do it, Matt? We both know how she felt about you. Don't ask me, Foggy. I don't want to talk about it. Let's go, Deb. There are times when a fella is better off alone. But it's all such a waste. She'd have married him despite his blindness. That's why I had to send her away. But I can never explain it to anyone. Each minute of my life I live with death at my shoulder. I love her too much to put her life in jeopardy as well. And then we cut to current time, and he's there wiping the sweat off of his head. Or is it tears? Now it's over. I've made my decision. I've got to live with it. But why can't I forget her? Why can't I get her out of my mind? And then he goes a little berserk, Bob. He starts throwing things around.
Yeah.
Why has this identity of Daredevil become the most important thing in my life? Nuts! What am I questioning myself for? What's done is done, and there's no turning back. I was never meant to be a blasted Casanova. And then he goes and he punches one of the punching bags that's hanging there. And he's on a tear. He's just ripping things up. I'm a red-hot swinging superhero, and that's the way I want it. Yeah, that's the way I want it. And he puts his head down into his arm. Getting a little flashbacks to Steve and Karen, or Steve and Sharon.
I was going to say, Stan Lee has a theme that, at least in this time frame, that he seems to like to revisit. So,
yes, he does.
Yes.
Next page, and Daredevil is swinging around the town. Now, how is he swinging around town? He has these two. What do you call them? Not
batons?
bobby pins. Not batons. He had a word for them, and I can't recall it now. But there are batons. I mean, they're long cylindrical staffs, and but he can shoot cable out of them, which he uses because what happens is the end of the baton curls, and then it shoots out and it hooks, and then he uses that to swing around, almost like a Spider-Man.
Okay, all right.
Minutes later, every nerve stretched taut, the agonized adventurer heads out into the open. And it's the middle of the day, and he's swinging around New York. Only one thing to do. I've got to keep moving till I find a way to outrun her memory. This is what I bargained for. This is the life I chose. This is what I must stay with forever. What's that loudspeaker I hear? And where is he at, Bob? It's a big building there.
It is. And we can only assume that this perhaps is Madison Square Garden.
Oh. And for the benefit of the Urban Poverty Fund, our world-famous guest, Captain America, will battle any volunteer in any type of combat. Well, a little sporting event at the Garden. It would be a blast if I was the one to tangle with Cap. But I figure I've got more important things to do, and I just remembered one of them. That costume creep who calls himself the Jester is still at large, somewhere in the city, and I still owe him a little something. What's the Jester? How would you describe him to our listeners, Bob?
Well, he looks like a court jester dressed in purple and green, and he's got the tassels, and it looks like he's got does he have a sword?
Yeah, it looks like it.
He's got like a fencing sword, that sort of sword. But just what you would expect when you think of court jester.
He looked like a full-time practicing nut, but he almost defeated me. And I'm one of the guys who hates unfinished business. So Winghead can have his fun and games while I go looking for that corny costume clown. He called him Winghead.
Yeah. Term of endearment, huh?
Uh-oh, hold it. That sounds like bigger trouble. And there's a police car, and they're listening to the police intercom that's inside the car, a little CB. Stolen from the Parkside Medical Center, a small black bag containing radioactive vials. Exercise extreme caution. Prolonged exposure may be dangerous. And Daredevil drops down to the street. It happens all the time. Some bird-brained sneak thief grabs a doctor's medical bag, not suspecting it contains deadly radioactive material. But luckily, it's right up my alley. With my hyper-keen senses, I'm like a walking Geiger counter. It shouldn't take me long to sniff them out. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Did doctors just go around carrying doctors' medical bags back in the day?
Back in the little black bag with the
yeah.
stethoscope and,
Yeah.
and medicines and stuff.
And apparently radioactive material.
Yeah, I think they did, Rick. I think that was actually a thing, the white
Making
lab,
house calls.
making house calls and doing rounds and having your black doctor bag with you with your radioactive vials.
A few minutes later, just as predicted, the sound of running feet from the alley ahead and a strange burning sensation coming closer and closer. Hornhead, you found your boy. Phew. With these all-out super senses of mine, it feels like I'm standing on top of a cyclotron. What's a cyclotron, Bob?
What is a cyclotron? It's not a centrifuge, is it? It's, I don't know. I've heard the word. Maybe I'll look it up.
I don't know what it is.
Now I'm curious. Oh my goodness. Cyclotron. Oh, it's a particle accelerator, Rick, that uses electromagnetic fields to speed up charged particles.
Of course it is.
Yes. It's
Okay.
funny because I have one of those in the garage. I should have known.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Tin Horn, the party's over. Daredevil, you know it, Sonny. Hey, you've got to be kidding. Reaching for a gun against me? And you see a punch coming at the reader, and it makes a noise.
Fuck!
Have to get this to medical center fast. But why is my head spinning? Why is it affecting me so quickly? It reminds me of that day when I was just a kid. And it goes back to a flashback, Bob, and this is how it all happened.
Ooh, an origin story. I love it.
A blind man crossing against the light. Why doesn't someone stop him? Hey, mister, look out. That truck can't stop in time. It's going to hit him. I'm the closest to him. If I can't save him, no one can. And you see him hurtling towards the blind man and pushing him out of the way of the truck, but there was an accident because the truck swerved. I saved the man, all right, but the truck clipped me. An open cylinder fell from the truck. It hit the boy, near his eyes. Hey, look, it's carrying radioactive material. And that's how I lost my sight. And the accident must have made my hypersensitive to radiation. I feel strange, different. And where did that little backstory come from, Bob?
Well, apparently that was featured in Daredevil #1, Rick.
Yeah. Minutes later, after returning the fateful vial, and now introducing Captain America. So they found him a fall guy, did they? What that phony needs is a real fight, and I'm just the guy to give it to him. Presenting the world-famous Star-Spangled Avenger, a man who has become a living legend in his own time. And so Cap's sitting in the corner of the ring, and this announcer's been going on for a long time, and Cap just looks kind of defeated. If this wasn't for charity, I'd call it off. That screeching sob sister's embarrassing me. And there's a guy in the corner with him. Don't worry, Cap. He'll wear himself out sooner or later. And we turn the page, and Daredevil goes running through the hall. But even as the extravagant introduction seems to drag endlessly on, and there's a police officer. Hey, it's Daredevil. Hold it, mister. No one said you were on the card. Clam it, flunky. If you think you're a man enough to stop me, just try it. And a guy, I guess a stranger, just kind of stand there witnessing this. He looks like Daredevil, but he doesn't sound like him. I did plenty of news stories about him, but I've never seen him throw his weight around before. What's changed him? And then, from high up, Daredevil uses his swing to swing down into the ring in the middle of Madison Square Garden, and there's thousands of people in this place, and they're all watching as Daredevil comes swinging down. And now, will Cap's first opponent enter the ring? And you see some guy wearing a suit, but he took off his business coat.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. If this was for real, I wouldn't face that Joe for $1 million. I've got news for you, man. It's gonna be for real. And he kicks the guy out of the way, Daredevil.
What?
Hey, you could have hurt him. Yeah? Wouldn't that be a crying shame? And then the next page, big half-page splash of Daredevil punching Cap in the face, knocking him back.
Wow.
Come on, Glory Hound. You wanted a fight, didn't you? Or can't you take some real competition? What's gotten into you? You sound like, ugh. And then the
referee.
Is he a referee?
Yeah.
Is
Right.
that what they call him?
Yeah.
The guy who stands in the middle of a boxing ring?
I think so.
He's a referee?
Yeah.
All right. Hold it. We've got to get you both some gloves. We're already wearing gloves, so stop stalling, big man. Look alive, mister. You're not fighting a setup this time. And this time he karate chops Cap in the back of the head. Daredevil, wait. Have you lost your mind? This is just an exhibition. Sure, that's what I'm doing. Exhibiting what a nowhere fink you really are. And now he gives him an uppercut. Or didn't you notice? And now he gives him a left cross.
Dang.
Just lie there, useless. It won't be long now. All I got to do is, and he hits Cap's shield, because Cap puts his shield up just in the nick of time. Okay, Big Mouth, you've had your fun. My hand, you and that rotten shield of yours. I don't know what your hang-up is, fella, but if it's a real fight you're after, you've come to the right place. And then he takes his shield and smacks Daredevil in the head with it.
Bling!
Yeah, well, the little tin soldier's fighting back. And that's just the way I like it. Only a masked lame brain would bounce me into the ropes this way, so I guess I owe you a vote of thanks. So what he does, he gets pushed back into the ropes, and then he uses that as kind of like a sling to go and give Cap a kick in the face.
Zabak!
You could at least have said you're welcome. You're getting groggy now, aren't you? Well, don't worry, cornball. It won't last long. I'll make sure of that. I've been trying to hold myself back on the chance that you're sick, that you don't know what you're doing. But I'm beginning to see the light, mister. You can't be the real Daredevil. I must be fighting an imposter. And that means all bets are off. And he gives Daredevil a right cross, hitting him in the face, knocking him back. Oh no, you don't get away that easy. Can't somersault my way out of this. He's too fast with that blasted shield. Fans out there paid for some action. And now that you're here, they're going to get it in spades. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I've asked you this before. I feel
Yeah.
like I have. I don't know the I've heard the expression in spades
Yeah.
plenty of times, and I get the gist of what it means.
Uh-huh.
But do you have any idea what it's referencing?
I just assumed it was a poker expression. But I don't know, Rick. It's funny you mentioned that because I just ordered a book today. One of those Kindle Unlimited books. I get things every day from BookBub, and
We did not get promo for that.
sorry,
no one paid us for that.
Well, nobody pays BookBub; it's a free thing,
Oh.
and you get like recommendations. And anyway, like,
do you want to just give a larger commercial for them, like any?
Well, in any case, I got this book. It was $1.99, and it has this saying in it, but I haven't read the book yet. So I'll look forward to reporting back to you.
In spades.
In spades.
I don't think it's a poker reference.
Yeah, may not be.
Could be a card reference, but I don't
Could
think it's
be.
poker. Yeah.
Well, here it goes. I just looked it up, Rick. So
yeah.
The idiom wasn't used prior to the 1920s, so it is said to be derived from the card game bridge, which was popular during that time. Spades were the highest ranking suit in that card game. So the more spades you had, the more likely you were to win.
All right. Thank you for giving me some context on that. Makes sense. Kind of gotta, thought that's...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then Cap punches Daredevil in the solar plexus. I never realized he was so fast, so strong. I don't get it. You can't be an imposter. Nobody else can move that way or roll with a punch like that. I'll pretend to be helpless while I stagger towards him. Then, when he gets close enough, I'll straighten up and let him... And then as he straightens up, Cap nails him. What's with you, mister? You're out of the bush leagues now. All right, Bob, what's a bush league?
Oh, I'm assuming, I don't know. Minor league baseball? I don't know.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Now talk. How come you've had all of Daredevil's powers, but your strategy is like an amateur's compared to his? Who in blazes are you, anyway? I said talk. And then the crowd is going wild. They're loving this. Wow, he's biting Cap right over the ropes. Yeah, but Cap dragged him along with him. It's still anybody's fight. Cap toppled him. He's tossing him over. The star-spangled shield swinger knows every trick in the book. And so does Daredevil. Look at the way he landed. I like it better over here, Winghead. I won't have the ropes to cramp my style. So they got out of the ring. Now they're near the audience. Suit yourself, son. I couldn't care less. And then somebody there is taking a photo. Who does that look like?
Man, that looks just like Peter Parker.
It really does.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. They're toppling into the elevator shaft. Grab a cable, you fool. You can still save yourself. Since when does Daredevil need advice from a masked has-been? And they are. They're both grabbing cables as they're going down this elevator shaft. My head is starting to ache. Feels like it's about to split open. What's happening to me now? Finally, after a safe but jolting descent to the bottom of the shaft, Cap and Daredevil bust through a glass window. Look, why not call it a draw before someone really gets hurt? I don't know what you're trying to prove, but I'll concede that you're already proved it. Besides, I suspect you need medical help more than a fistful of knuckles. If you really are Daredevil, we can, and Daredevil kicks him in the face. I'm Daredevil, all right. No one's going to take the credit away from me after I flatten you. Here, this'll teach you not to drop your guard. The pain, getting worse than ever now. Everything's getting dark, hazy, spinning around. Feels like someone's lifting a veil over my brain, letting the light in. That crowd, gathering all around me. And Captain America? What's he doing coming toward me that way? What's going on here anyway? Well, how about that? You just spun around and lit out. Now that Cap's mad, he doesn't want any part of him. Now he's running off. Hold it, mister. You've got some tall explaining to do. I remember now. It was the radium. It affected me, made me temporarily go berserk, but the effect has finally worn off, and it'll be easier to cut out than trying to explain a setup like mine. I have a hunch that old Cap will understand. And he swings away. No sense in going after him. If he's willing to call it quits, it's okay with me. Whatever he did, I guess he had his reasons. What's the lowdown, Cap? Why Daredevil chicken out? He didn't. We all wanted a good show, and he gave us one. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Daredevil is walking down an alleyway for just a few moments. In the heat of battle, I was able to forget Karen. But what happens now?
Oh,
I'm going to save everybody a little bit of suspense here.
yeah.
Karen comes back.
Thank God. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. I don't know if I could have slept tonight. So, man.
All right, Bob, what do you think of this Daredevil story that had a guest appearance of Captain America?
All right. Well, they had to wedge it in someplace, I guess. They had to fill this issue with a story. And look, it's 12-year-old me picking this up. Captain America guest appearance. Yeah, a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
And as a 12-year-old, I would absolutely positively get the whole lovey-dovey thing, right? Maybe I didn't,
sure.
I'm just starting to like girls. I get the whole thing. Makes perfect sense to me. That's
Mhm.
exactly how you handle the situation.
And for the record, everybody, Bob was not 12 years old in 1968.
No, I was not. But you can, that's exactly how the 12-year-old would handle that lovelorn situation. I'm just going to pretend to be a bad guy.
I'm tough guy.
Drive her away.
I don't need a dame.
Right.
All right, get out of here, you skirt.
But I do like it. And I do, it's fun, it's quick. And I do like, that Cap covered for him. Right.
So I took this as being hey, everybody, we need a boost in sales. How do we do that? Well, we're going to put on the cover Captain America and Daredevil fighting each other.
It makes sense.
Cap's more popular at that time.
Yeah.
Sure. That'll draw some readers in, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they knew that they were going to have additional new readers because that's why they had to flashback to how he became blind.
Good point.
How he got his powers.
Yeah.
Right. Like there was a reason they threw that in. They don't normally do that every Daredevil issue,
Yeah.
So they were anticipating that.
But, excellent points.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so fun story.
Yeah. Just right. I mean, it's right from the time. So, and when people say, man, they don't make them like they used to, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a set piece in time.
Yeah. I wish we could go over this issue, this Mark Waid, Paulo Rivera issue, issue number 2 of this volume, because the Cap versus Daredevil story in here was, even again, it was only 10 pages, but the dialogue between the two and the styling of the fight, because Paulo Rivera is just a fantastic artist.
Goodness.
And this is his drawing and penciling. It's not his painted stuff, but it's still really good because of the layouts and so on.
Yeah.
I wish we could cover that at some point because it is interesting because you see Daredevil picks up Cap's shield and Cap picks up Daredevil's but we'll call them batons. That's going to bother me now.
Yeah.
It's going to bother me what they're called.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you said, something about Bobby, right? And, policemen in the United Kingdom are called Bobbies because they carry a stick. But I don't know what it's called, a Bobby stick or something, right? I don't know.
Billy Club.
Billy Club.
That's what they're called. They're called Billy Club.
All right.
Daredevil's Billy Club. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Billy, Bobby.
Bob, you go first. You have a favorite panel?
I do, Rick. I'm not, I'm looking at the digital, scan. I think it's it's page 9, and it's the upper left hand panel in page 9. And this is, you're probably surprised at my selection, but it's Daredevil sort of clinging to the side of the wall, very much like Adam West climbing up the wall in Batman, right? Mm-hmm. But what I like about this panel is the layering, right? Because in the foreground, as you mentioned, we have the police car with the police officer sitting in the car listening to the radio. And then we see Daredevil on the side of a wall behind him. And then behind Daredevil, we see a couple, layers of buildings stretching back. And I love this multi-layered approach because it gives this panel a lot of depth, and it's really interesting.
It is. I agree. All right. Nice choice.
Mm. And how about yourself? What do you have for your favorite panel?
I'm going to go with page 6, the bottom panel. That's the one where he's hitting the punching bag.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is just a typical Gene Colan piece, right? Like he's showing a lot of action going on in one panel. So there's in the background Daredevil throwing a mattress. In the foreground, he's punching the bag, which is not only being punched, but it's coming back at full force to demonstrate how hard he punched it, right?
Yeah.
Like he could have just shown him punching it and then it going in that direction, but no, he decided to show it going back. And did you notice the chain broke?
Yeah, I did.
He punches so hard that it went back and came back and the chain broke. And then you have him, pining over it as well. So a lot going on in this panel, and I thought it was interesting the way Colan laid it out.
Interesting. Good selection.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how about a t-shirt? You got anything you want to slap on the t-shirt?
I'll put the cover on the t-shirt.
Oh, the cover.
The cover.
Okay.
Yeah, as you said before,
it
is an iconic cover of the two of them in the ring by Jack Kirby. Very, very, very Jack Kirby-esque, right? Like you know, I mean, just the fact that his Cap's right hand is bigger than his head.
Fingers are all square.
Yeah, to show that it's coming, to him. Like he just missed Daredevil with. Anyway, it's a lot going on in this cover, and it would look cool on a t-shirt, don't you think?
Yeah, I do think it would look awesome on a t-shirt. I think a lot of folks would like that t-shirt.
What about you? What do you put on a t-shirt?
I think I'm going to go the bottom panel. It's like a half-page splash on the bottom of page 15. That's when Cap is hitting Daredevil with a right cross and knocking him back. And he says, and that means all bets are off. I kind of like that.
Why would you want that on a t-shirt?
Hey, I just like Cap. Cap's mixing it up, right?
I like Cap too, but I don't know if I like him punching out a fellow hero.
Well, it happens, man. It happens. You get a little radium in your system, you get a little loopy. Next thing you know, you end up in a fight with Cap.
I suppose.
So, Cap gets a little ice in him. Next thing you know, he's mixing it up with Daredevil. It's all fair.
There's a little callback.
Right? It's all fair.
Callback. Streets of Poison.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, Bob. What is going in your time capsule?
Well, I'm going to have to go with that appearance of Madison Square Garden. And I think what page was that on? That was on the page 7 was the first appearance. Now, the interesting thing about Madison Square Garden, Rick, I'm sure you know this, is that this issue, as you pointed out, actually came out in June of 1968 with a cover date of August 1968. But Madison Square Garden opened in February of 1968. Now, this was I think the 4th Madison Square Garden. So it was new to this location. So it was a brand new building when this issue came out, and not a lot had happened there yet. But of course, we knew a lot of things would eventually go on to happen there, right? Like the Ali Frazier fight, the first one, that happened there back in 71. So it's just an iconic building in New York City.
Did you just look up Sports Reference?
No, I knew that, Rick.
Did you?
Yeah, Ali and Frazier, 3 fights. Rumble in the Jungle in the Philippines, and Super Fight 2. Absolutely. Yeah.
You
In
think you
Africa,
know it. You think you know
Nigeria.
a person.
But I think, wow, they did. And the thing is, that rendering on page 7 of Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden is pretty true to life. So, a really good job with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. How about yourself? What's in your time capsule?
Next page. Next page where it shows him doing a flashback to his first battle with the Jester.
Okay.
The Jester, for whatever reason, is synonymous with Daredevil, and this is the first time they meet and the
Ooh,
first time they battle. So,
I did
that's
not know that. I didn't know
capsule
this.
worthy.
This is a reoccurring adversary.
It is. It is. Not a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he's really been known to fight too much outside of Daredevil.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he's kind of one of those types of characters. I'm trying to see if I can compare him to a Captain America villain that I don't know. I want to say Madcap,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
but
Yeah.
just because of
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah. The,
whatever. But
the
you know,
theme. Yeah.
somebody like Madcap, you don't associate him with anybody else.
Yeah.
But then again, Cap's only fought him a few times.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Interesting.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I spent twice as much time researching coming up with a Cap Daredevil story than we did covering this one.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's how
All
it is, right? All that preparation goes into a lecture, and you only spend 40 minutes in front of a class. So,
yeah.
Same here.
Or you spend hours, whining and dining and romanticizing a date.
Yeah.
For what's it? Was it 5 minutes for you, Bob?
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah, that's a long kiss. That's about as far as I get. But yeah.
Well, listen, if anybody gets anything out of this episode, it is watch the Daredevil series.
Mm-hmm.
I guess now on Disney Plus. If you haven't watched the first 3 seasons, highly recommend. You can thank me later.
All right, I will. I'll look forward to thanking you later, and I'll raise the topic with my son. Maybe we'll do this a father and son thing. It'd be nice for us to have something to watch together.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next episode, come back because we have a guest. We have a guest on the show, and it is this will be our third time on the show. It's been well over a year, and that is Captain America editor Alana Smith.
Yeah, a third visit, Rick. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it third? Yeah,
yeah, I believe so.
Goodness. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like she kind of likes us.
Yeah. Well, and we have a lot to talk about, right?
Yes,
so
we do.
We could recap a little bit of what happened with the J. Michael Straczynski series. Maybe we can get some insight on what her thoughts are of how that series went and how it ended. Talk about the Sam Wilson Captain America series that started a few months ago, and talk a little bit about the upcoming Steve Rogers series, which we already mentioned is being written by Chip Zdarsky. Yes. So we got a lot of Cap-centric stuff to talk about, and no one better to do that than the editor of Captain America, Alana Smith.
Yep, looking forward to that. Looking forward to maybe getting some tidbits. So,
yeah, it's always a fun conversation with her.
Indeed, yes.
Well, Bob, talk about fun conversation. It's always fun wrapping Cap with you.
It is. I can't wait till next week, Rick.
All right. He's Bob Lucius. I'm Rick Verbanis. And thank you for listening. We also appreciate you rating and reviewing and subscribing. If you're on YouTube right now, you know what? Please just go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. We love your comments. Same thing on Apple. We love getting your 5-star reviews. And as always, the Facebook group. We love hearing from you there. And Bob, I forgot to mention it, but gosh, it is It's the end of March. We actually should be into our next Cap Madness, right? So we tie this in with March Madness, and it is our own bracket that is going to be our the people on our Facebook page vote on who wins and who advances. And right now, what we're doing is the all-time favorite Captain America co-star. Now, that could be an ally, like Bucky or Sam Wilson. It could be a love interest like Sharon Carter or Diamondback. It could be a foe like the Red Skull or Crossbones. It could be any of these characters, but you guys voted on which characters we're going to have in the bracket, and now we get to vote on who advances. So make sure, if you haven't joined the Captain America Comic Book Fans Facebook group, make sure you do that because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite activity every year, and you do a great job putting it together and running it. And folks have an awful good time voting, but also commenting and justifying their votes. So it's fun, it's clean, it's good, clean fun, Rick.
It is, yeah. So check that out. And as always, we thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.